Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and listen, as you can tell from the title of this video, this is the second episode of our master series entitled How to Write a Personal or Mission Statement for Grad School, specifically for your masters. Now before I introduce you to my amazing social bubble, I want to say a massive thank you to Adobe, who has partnered with me for this video that can also help you with something to put on your personal statement. Yes, Adobe are sponsoring this video to make sure that all UK university students are aware of the Adobe Digital Edge Award. Now to win this award, which by the way, you can mention on your personal statement or your CV if you're applying to universities, to win this award, which is a cash prize, all you have to do is enter their competition. To enter, you need to submit a piece of work that was creative using digital tools from the Creative Cloud. So any of these applications here, then you're in for a shot. So if that's an infographic, a virtual essay, or a video presentation, again, just using the Creative Cloud digital tools, then submit. Why? Well, Adobe want us to learn how important having digital literacy skills are. These skills that are going to give you an edge on your coursework, then help you improve your graduate skills and also ultimately impress your employer. Now the first prize is a cash prize of £9,250. 3 runners up, which will also have a cash prize of £1,000. You can end it individually or as a group of 6. It could be an assignment that you've already done for past modules, or you can make something new just for this competition. But everything else will be linked in the description box down below, so have a check of that and good luck. Okay, so here is my amazing friends, my amazing people. The reason why we're so close together is because we can be. We don't have coronavirus, don't worry, we're not going to jail. Thank you, Boris Johnson.
Support bubble.
Support bubble, yeah. He's been very cautious with following all the guidelines, all the rules. He doesn't want to get deported. So,
yeah. Hello, I'm Johan. I go by Johan Svele online. I study here at Oxford, a master's in mathematical and computational finance. Before that, I studied a bachelor's in mathematics at Imperial College London, and I'm originally from Norway.
That's right.
Hi everyone, my name is Casey, I come from China, and I did my undergrad in China as well. And currently I'm in the same master program as IBS, which is higher education, and we're loving it.
Yeah, so I am doing higher ed with Casey. We live together and we study together as well. We're very, very, very lucky. And prior to this, I did my undergraduate degree in psychology. So we're going to give you 10 tips on how to write a personal statement and some advice we would generally give you guys, because I don't know about you, but for me, I found it quite difficult.
Same.
Yeah, I got rejected from my one uni the first time I applied, so the second time I had to definitely make sure that it was on point. Yeah. Did you you seem to have found it really easy?
I got rejected from one university.
Oh, okay, wow, that was a bit deep.
So,
but the writing the personal statement.
Writing?
Yeah.
No, that was fine.
Okay, so here's 10 tips. Tip number 1 that I'm going to give you is to realize that this is not the same as UCAS. This is not the same as applying for an undergraduate at a top UK university, in the sense that there's no 4,000 characters. It's not standardized. It's not universal. You are making individual personal statements for each university course, each university masters, and therefore they each have different requirements. For example, the Oxford personal statement was allowed you to have kind of 2 pages, but the Cambridge one allowed me to only have about like 800 words. Sometimes they require you to write in a specific font, they require you to save in a certain format. So my advice to you is to make sure that you are aware that there is differences between the universities. You can't copy and paste it. It's not like UCAS. So that's my first tip.
Do I go next then?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first tip, and I would say this is possibly the most important tip, is to get it checked by professionals. So hopefully your university has a careers advisor. This person is paid literally to get your cover letter or personal statement checked and make sure that it is fulfilling the demands that the university has. So for instance, when I first went to the careers advisor at my university, I went in there, thought I had like a really good personal statement, that everything was under control, and she said everything needs to be rewritten because it's not what they are looking for. And it really helped.
How many drafts did you make? Do you remember?
Possibly 10 drafts.
Yeah.
So that was a lot. I went
10 times to the careers advisor because I had no idea what they were looking for.
For us in Cambridge, they were always booked and busy. So I actually asked my professor to look at mine, and she She definitely helped me out. And
Definitely, anyone who has experience in like this type of knowing what they are looking for would be really helpful.
I think my first personal statement, I did literally I just did it once, hence why I got rejected. The second time applying for Oxford, I think I did like again 8-9 drafts.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I don't have a career advisor at my undergrad.
Privilege.
Yes. So I have
Imperial
to do it.
Cambridge. Sorry.
I have to do it all by myself. So my first tip would be very relevant to international students. So I think in your personal statement it's better. So if you can just show the admission officer that you are a fit for this teaching mode in your university. A lot of university worldwide have very different teaching modes. For instance, in China, we are more lecture-based, I would say. But here at Oxford, it's more, they value more about like student input and how like discussion makes such a big difference to the whole class dynamics. Personally, I really like to talk, and I put that in my personal statement with alongside my experiences. I did a summer program in UBC, so basically that is how I show them that I am a fit for this more discussion-based teaching mode. And I think for the assessment part, it is also important. For instance, at Oxford, we are very like essay-based. At least our program is very essay-based. Yeah. So for some students from the United States, they would think that participation would make a lot of difference, but it's not. So basically, it's not saying that which one is better than the other. It's all about what suits you best.
Fourth tip then that we'd give: get your personal statement or your mission statement done as quickly as you can. Don't think it needs to be a final finished product. The reason why is because when you start asking your referees for references, a good guide for them is to see your personal statement. So instead of thinking, okay, I'll ask you for references and in the meantime I'll do my personal statement, try and switch that around, your personal statement first and then give that to them as a guide. So get it done as quickly as you can. It should be like, in my opinion, the first thing that you get doing in your to-do list. Okay guys, we're now going to more tips, but again we're going to have an ad here. Please just skip the ad because this is how we keep the lights, the ring lights on.
It might be a fun ad.
Yeah, you might.
So we can go on the fifth tip, which is my second tip. And that is to not be generic in your application. So for instance, a mistake that I made in my first of many drafts, and I think a lot of other people do, is that they write things like, I want to apply to X university because of its good reputation. Because literally, that could have been said by any applicant, and it could have been said about any university. So you are literally adding no value by adding that sentence. That sentence is completely useless, and you can't have useless sentences in your personal statement.
Damn.
So, let me finish.
Okay.
So, instead, if there's a professor teaching at the course you're applying to, which you're really interested in the type of research that this person does, then say that and explain why it is interesting to you.
Even for some of my mission statements for scholarships, I mentioned like the researchers who I would have been working with in Cambridge, the researchers I would be working with and the supervisors I'd be working with in Oxford. So I completely agree. Because remember, unlike UCAS, you're making individual statements, so you can tailor it so like specific to even the researcher, the supervisor,
Name drop
the
them.
department. Yeah, and we're told not to do that for undergrad, but for masters, do that 100%.
Yeah.
And the courses, name drop the courses you're doing too.
The papers, the modules, everything. Yeah.
So my second tip for our personal statement, you need to use that as a roadmap. So basically, it's like blend every document that you are submitting into your personal statement. For Oxford, we are submitting like 2 writing samples, a CV, 3 reference letters. I actually linked everything together in my personal statement by using a flowchart to guide my thoughts, visualize my ideas, and move things around until I find that they are in perfect logic.
Don't worry. Additional tip that I would give you, I spoke a lot about my work experience, and then I also talked about my dissertation so much because we were applying for an MSc, which also had a lot of research, a 20,000 word dissertation. So I wanted to highlight to them what my dissertation was about, the findings I got, and what my dissertation led me to go on to do afterwards. For undergrads who are in the process of writing the dissertation right now, I would still say to include it. I would still say
Yes,
to talk about
yes.
what you're studying right now. But for those who have finished undergrad, I think you're obviously in a much more position.
Mm-hmm.
Speak about your dissertation. It's literally like the last piece of academic work you've done. So I spoke so much about my dissertation.
Same here, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't though, because my course doesn't really ask for, because mine is mostly taught.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they are
Nice.
looking for, like, if you are good at exams. Going with my tip now. So my last tip for you guys is to... What was my last tip?
Oh, I thought you were all organised.
Yes, you need to... This is a more specific to those who are applying to sciences or some humanities too, but I know for a lot of humanities you don't really need to apply to the same degree that you studied at undergrad.
Mm-hmm.
But for sciences, they have strong academic requirements. So, for instance, financial engineering, as it's often called, what I'm studying, requires that you have studied a undergrad in mathematics or a highly quantitative subject.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't come from a random undergrad and do well in it or even have a chance to get in. So if your course have these academic requirements, make sure that you are demonstrating it clearly in your personal statement, because they don't want to try to like look up on your CV, has this person experience in this and in that. They want to be told directly that you have, and they want to be confident that you are able to take up the new courses and excel in them. So for instance, I studied mathematics, and that covers mostly of the financial engineering program. If you are coming from a finance undergrad, you actually have to do a lot of learning yourself to teach yourself a lot of material from a mathematics undergrad. And even if you are from a mathematics, it's always good to include the courses you've done and relating them to the courses you are gonna do at the masters. For instance, I didn't do any object-oriented programming in my mathematics degree at undergrad, but my masters is doing courses in object-oriented programming. But I had experience in object-oriented programming from an internship I did, so I made sure to include that as well.
Just remember that when you're applying for a master's degree, it's kind of like a money-making scheme, right? Undergrad, they're investing in you for 3 years. Masters, you're kind of in and out. So I think that you need to kind of highlight to your department, for your personal statement, what you're going to bring to the table. And I think you can be very explicit with that. For example, me applying to Oxford, I explicitly said to them that I've done outreach and diversity work at Cambridge, and because it's literally almost a similar system, I can do the same thing here at this college.
Yeah, and if you get a great career and become famous, it's going to look good on the course too.
Shout out to the Department of Education, Masters, Higher Education, go and apply.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, I
No,
think
yeah,
it's,
alumni.
Yeah, alumni.
Yeah.
Like they want to have people who are going to excel, not just people who are barely passing. Did you skip Casey now with your tip?
No.
Yes.
I was just going to say, actually, I think in one of my... No, I did actually. I did skip. I will edit it back.
So my last tip would be try to be concise at your first draft. So I personally struggle with this a lot. Like I'm currently writing my personal statement for DPO application, and I constantly need to leave out things rather than adding more things. So only because I did 1,500 words for my first draft, which extends to the word limit by 50%. So I would definitely suggest that be as concise as you can for the first draft, and you will have the time to revise. So don't worry that you are leaving out important things. You will always add them into your final draft. So yeah, that's my final tip.
Okay guys, that was our 10 tips on how to write a personal or mission statement for your master application. Our next episode will be on how to sort out your documentation, your references, your CV, X, Y, and Z. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that. But I want to say a massive thank you to Johan and Casey.
You're welcome. They need to like the video too.
Yeah, okay. He said to like the video, so you better like the video before he comes into your house, and Okay, if people want advice, do you want them to come to you on LinkedIn, or are you no?
They can contact me on LinkedIn if they want to hear more about maybe applying to financial engineering or applying to masters in general or at Oxford.
And we can find you on LinkedIn at
Johan Fredriksvele, and you can also follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to become an influencer.
So you can also follow me on LinkedIn at KCU. Or so for Instagram, it's also the same, KCU 0124. And I am happy to answer any questions.
Okay, guys, without further ado, I want to say thank you so much for watching and God bless. See you in the next video.
Bye.